Hello in the Good Company podcast. Today, I want to share my experience um, and what it is and the Hoffman process. So it was like a really interesting story. I was hearing about Hoffman process this or the other way for several months. I heard it on the podcast. I watched something on YouTube, somebody mentioned it. I read an article, somebody mentioned it. I was in the meeting, some kind of meeting, somebody mentioned it. And I want to point you out to also this kind of sidetrack that if something is showing up um, in your life that way, that you keep hearing about it, that it's popping up this or the other way, it means that it's something that you need to explore, you need to look into, because this is whoever you believe, however you believe, universe, God, your angels, your ancestors are showing you the way a little bit. So always when you hear something several times, make sure to pay attention. So that's what happened to me. I heard several times about Hoffman process, the Hoffman process, and um, I didn't look into at first, but then I looked into it and I was like, oh my God, that's perfect, because at that point I was just thinking about doing some kind of therapy, but I didn't really feel like doing like sit down therapy again, right? So I was like, I want to like dig deeper and approach myself from a different perspective, but I don't want to um do kind of sit down weekly therapy, which by the way, I just came back to, but that's a different story. I'll mention it. So anyway, so in my own words, the Hoffman process is the actual process is a 7 days retreat, and it's kind of therapeutic self-developmental week when you really dive deep to understand your patterns, the origin of your patterns. Either they're coming from childhood, obviously, but from your mother or father, and how they negatively affect your life. And obviously some tools that help you navigate through those patterns and kind of change them and adjust them. So that's kind of my take. On their website, they say the Hoffman Quadrinity process, founded by Bob Hoffman in 1967, is a week-long residential and personal growth retreat that helps participants identify negative behaviors, mood, and ways of thinking that develop unconsciously and were conditioned in childhood. So exactly, kind of, better said than I did, but that's what you basically do. The 2 days intensive that I was really lucky to receive grant for and kind of receive it for free. It's not that expensive. I believe it's like around $400 or $500. So I think for 2 days of intense therapy is not that bad. It's worth investment for sure. But I was able to I was given that for free, and it was an amazing experience. Uh, it's a group setting, Zoom group setting. The two-day one, 7 day one is they do it a couple times a year, I believe, in California, and somewhere here in Midwest, I believe. And it's 7 days. It's definitely probably more intense, but these 2 days were definitely very, very intense. So we really went through this process of identifying our patterns, where they are coming from. Usually you come with some kind of blockage or something that is some area of your life that you feel blocked or stuck or not fully fulfilled. And so everybody in the group came with that. Therapists are amazing, definitely trained. Groups are, not everybody likes a group setting, but there is this just amazing energy, and something happen when you do therapy in a group setting, that every person that shares something, and you don't have to too. That's important to say too, if you are not willing to. But everybody that shares something, or there is, somebody's case is talked about, it's always also healing and pointing to something for you, for me. Always, it's you can always resonate. So that's great. And I wouldn't be concern about group setting, because the bottom line is everybody comes there to heal. They are all very open-minded and loving and kind and compassionate. So, and again, you don't have to share deeply your whatever is coming up for you, but you just go together through these exercises and different things and different kind of tools, not kind of tools to help you address those patterns. Is this even working? Yes. So for example, they have this cycle of transformation when basically you kind of identify a pattern. Hold on, I have it here. You identify a pattern. Let me look into it. So you have kind of awareness of it, you express it. How do you currently express it? Probably not in the best way, right? Because it's a pattern, and kind of negative pattern that is running your life. Then you have to kind of practice this compassion and forgiveness for yourself, and then come up with the new ways of being. I love, they also talk about quadrinity model, that you have kind of like 4 parts of yourself, which is also very interesting. And it's so important to check with yourself, like the soul, your soul, with your body, with your emotions. So that's one of the elements of their approach. And then I love one of this technique was like a left and right road, and one, whatever the choice is, right? Like when you experience a intense situation or kind of emotionally intense situation, you always have kind of 2 ways. One is old pattern, and then the other is the right road, which is a kind of new pattern. And it's a great technique to kind of navigate, to express and be a new way in the context of this old childhood pattern that you may be running in your life. I really enjoyed these 2 days. They were very intense, healing and any kind of, obviously, as you know, therapeutical work is, it's intense on your emotion and body. So it was kind of exhausting after this couple of days. But I would highly recommend this process for anybody who is, for example, new to therapy, who does not want to do like a weekly session or bi-weekly session, sit down on the couch. Again, you don't have to share anything there. So it's not like you're going to be exposed to the group if somebody is worried about privacy. I think it'll be great for men because it's very organized, very kind of action driven and tools driven, but also like very simple to understand, and helps you really kind of narrow down and understand those patterns in childhood that you may be running. Very transformative couple days. Again, I would highly recommend it. But it was so interesting because I decided to do it because I was like, I don't want to do therapy anymore. I did it, a couple years back for like, I started really sit down therapy before Lila was born to kind of prepare. I wanted to clean my side of the street and my slate before I have kids, not to transfer any old wounds on them. And then stopped it after like 5 years of intense therapy. And then I was like, oh, I don't want to go to the couch and like talk again. But I did this process, which was great for that moment, but it really opened me up that there is some additional things I need to work on. So I'm back in sit down therapy, which I always highly recommend. There is nothing like, talking to professional who obviously you need to find the one that aligns with you, that you feel comfortable with. But there's nothing better than talk through things with, again, trained professional who understand the labyrinth of a human mind and emotions, and have tools and understanding and helpful advice for you, right? When you are in the sit down therapy. Again, I would love to do the 7-day Hoffman process. Maybe when the girls are going to be older, I will do it. There are also like some fun exercises, release energy exercises they do there. So it's a really interesting couple days to kind of dive deep into your healing. And again, if you have like limited of time amount of time that you don't want to do this weekly, and you want to have like a more intense result faster, I would say these 2 days of intense Hoffman process are very, very I would recommend it. I would just simply recommend it. But again, as always, make sure you know, feel good. Make sure you consult with your current psychologist if you have any doctor. If you feel like you want to, also they filter you. You ask a lot of questions. You ask a lot of questions before to just understand. You know, they understand your overall psychological state. But again, very interesting process, and kind of deep dive into a healing. Obviously, I will link I will post a link under the show to in the notes to the Hoffman Process website. If you have any questions, always shoot me a DM. And as usual, until the next time, I send you bunch and bunch and bunch of love and light, and also to myself always. I always forget about myself. And yeah, thank you.